everyone, it's Jen. Welcome. Today I'm hanging out with my dog Jada. She's keeping me company and keeping me warm because here in Chicago it is so cold. Mother Nature obviously doesn't want spring to come. It is freezing out here, which makes for my inspiration for my creamy Zuppa Toscana soup that I use the Philadelphia cooking cream, the original kind in. And I love Philadelphia cooking cream. It gives every single recipe, and I am serious, every recipe you put it into, it gives it such a great flavor. And they have a Santa Fe, which is a very southwestern flavor, savory garlic, Italian herbs, and of course the original kind that I use today. Your friends, your family, your guests, whomever you're using this recipe on today is going to ask you, what did you use to make that flavor? And either you can keep it a secret, I won't tell anybody, or you can let them know it was the Philadelphia cooking cream, the original kind. So I'm going to sit here and enjoy my creamy Zuppa Toscana while I show you how easy it was to make this dish. Right, Jada? Right? We're starting off at the stove top, and what I have is 1 pound of Italian sausage, the mild kind. And at my store, they actually come in these casings and these links. So we have to take the casings off, which the best way to do is just run a serrated knife down the middle of it and just kind of pull the casings off. Now I know this is not that attractive, but it's something you have to do. So it's kind of gross, but it has to be done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some olive oil and I'm just going to coat the bottom of my pan with just a little bit of olive oil. Now the sausage does have some fat in it, so we don't want to put too much olive oil in it at the beginning. And now we're going to just put in our pound of sausage that I preheated my pan at about a medium-high heat. So I'm just going to put all this in here. Very good. And then I'm going to take 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. I love these red pepper flakes. It gives it just that nice little kick to it. So if you want more of a kick, you could definitely use more. But my husband and daughter are not real high on hot things. So I'm just keeping it more on the mild side. And I'm just going to stir this around and break up the sausage. Once I do that, I'm going to allow it to brown. And I'm going to head over and start cutting up our veggies. That's going to go in our soup. While our sausage continues to brown over on the stove top, I'm going to start chopping up an onion. And I just have 1 large onion that I'm just going to take the skin off. And every time I chop up an onion, I always think of my grandpa who lives in South Dakota. Most of my family's from South Dakota, by the way. But every time I chop an onion and he sees it, he always is afraid that I'm going to chop my fingers off, and it's so funny. He has his own way of doing it, but I'll show you how I do it, and you can tell me if I make you nervous while I do it. So I just run my knife right down, and we're just going to do a dice, so we just run it right down here. This is the part that he doesn't like. And then I take the knife, and I just go across 1, 2, and 3 times. I know, if my grandpa's watching, I know I'm making you nervous, Grandpa. And then I just come down just like this. And that's a nice dice. When you get towards the end, you can just flip it and chop it up this way. I'm going to finish the other part of the onion. So I finished chopping up all of our onions. Now with onions, it doesn't make my eyes water. I'm sure you've all seen where Paula Deen wears the really cute goggles, the onion goggles. I love those, but it doesn't bother me. There's so many different ways. They say if you light a candle, if you eat a piece of bread while you're cutting. I don't know. I don't have the right answer for you, but I think Paula Deen has something going on with those onion goggles. So I have 3 rustic Idaho potatoes that I've already peeled. They were sitting in some cold water because if you're not using them right away, the cold water will stop the potatoes from browning. So I'm going to go ahead and chop these up in half and then into kind of a dice. Now with this Zuppa Toscana soup, it is really easy and it is really fast if you chop your vegetables up smaller. So keep that in mind, okay? So I'm just going to use a nice little chop. And then I'll put them all back in the cold water. until I'm done with it, and then I can go over to the stove and drain it out. So the potatoes are all chopped up, super simple. Now I have my kale. This is a nice leafy green. It's very kind of dense. I've already rinsed these off, and what you do is you just take this like a stem, and from the middle part up you just pull the leaves right off, and then this is garbage. Or you could use it like for a vegetable stock or something. And just gonna roughly chop this up. No particular order or how big. It's really going to condense down. Like if you were cooking with a spinach or something, it wilts right away when you put it into the soup. Perfect. This is perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the stove, and I'm going to bring my onions, and I have a couple cloves of garlic. We're going to take out that sausage that's been browning up in the meantime. So come on. So our sausage is nice and brown. I'm just taking out the last bit of it, and I'm putting it on a paper towel just to allow for some of the greases to kind of drip out of it. And with the remaining oil and fat that's in there, I'm going to go ahead and dump in our onions that we already pre-chopped. Nice sizzle. And my heat is at about a medium. I'm just going to stir these around, and there's some pan drippings in there from the sausage. These onions are really going to pick up all of that flavor. And then I'm going to take a microplane with some garlic and grate some garlic in there. Our onions have become more translucent. You can kind of see through them. That is perfect. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to add in our sausage again, now that it's been able to drain a little bit. And see all that extra grease you kind of pick up off of there? Saves you a few calories. And then we're going to add in our 3 rustic potatoes that we chopped up into a little bit smaller so it doesn't take so long. At this point, I'm going to turn my heat up to a high because we really want to get these cooking, and we're going to add in 10 cups of water along with 5 chicken bouillon cubes. And there's just these little cubes. I'm going to throw all of this to a boil and allow for those potatoes just to get a little bit more tender. At that time, we're ready for our secret ingredient. Everyone's going to be like, what's this taste? It's our Philadelphia cooking cream, the original. So our potatoes have become nice and tender, which is exactly where we want it. From here, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat to a low, and this is where we're going to add our secret special ingredient, the Philadelphia cooking cream, the original kind. This is going to make you, your family, your guests, or whoever you make it for, just say, wow, what is that? What am I tasting? So what I'm going to do, this is a 10-ounce container, and I'm going to take about 2/3 of this, which is about 7 ounces. I'm just going to put it right in the soup. It is going to make it so nice and creamy, and the flavor is going to be awesome. I love this Philadelphia cooking cream. Anytime that you use a heavy cream or the recipe calls for a heavy cream, definitely consider this cooking cream. It is not too bad on fat or calories or carbs or sodium, so, and it adds so much flavor as well. So I added about 7 ounces of that. I keep chitter-chattering. Sometimes I do that a lot. And now I'm just going to stir this in, and it's going to get nice and white. I'm going to add in my kale that we chopped up earlier. And just kind of push this in, and it's just going to weld down. I'm ready to serve up and eat this. Oh my goodness, you're done already? I'm still enjoying my creamy Zuppa Toscana soup. I love having a crusty white bread on there too, just to dip and get more of that flavor of the Philadelphia cooking cream, the original kind. I told you, it just brings out such an amount of flavor once you use it. So I definitely encourage you to try this recipe, and join me again next week as I'm challenged to cook with a Philadelphia cream cheese for a dessert. You don't have any idea how many ideas I have up in my head. So I'm really excited, and join me again next time. I'm going to keep warm. Right, Jada? Tell everybody bye.